Hello, and thanks for joining us. Coming up, why the long face, the unique touch of Italian painter and sculptor Amedeo Modigliani at an exhibition in northern France. Tragedy without a face. Swiss artist Thomas Hirschhorn examines the media's obsession with blurring images. And Africa's Avengers meet the new black superheroes from Nigeria. Thanks for joining us. Amedeo Modigliani was something of a one-off in early 20th century Paris. Though immersed in the milieu of Picasso and others, the Italian artist was sceptical of what he saw as the faddish trends of modern art. He pioneered something new, inspired by the historic art of his homeland, ancient Egyptian and Greek sculpture and African art, resulting in elongated figures for which he's known. Catherine Clifford takes us to northern France now for a new exhibition of his work.
Elongated faces and figures, intriguing and absent expressions. Modigliani's work is easily recognised at a glance, but what inspired such an original style? At 22 years old, Modigliani came to Paris in 1906. He began as a sculptor, inspired by what he saw in the Louvre and the Indochina Museum. Fascinated by African, Egyptian and Cambodian art, he borrowed from different styles. Looking at this mask from Ivory Coast, we can find the same almond-shaped eyes, puckered mouth and nose shape in this Modigliani sculpture. And here, a sculpted head from the Greek Cyclad Islands. In this Modigliani work, we can recognise the same nose shape and flattened oval face.
In a certain sense, he tried to seek out and gather everything he found beautiful in order to merge it into his own style.
When his health deteriorated, the artist was forced to give up sculpting. From 1913, he painted mainly portraits and nudes, a total of about 400 canvases. In this one, we can find his trademarks. The oval face, shaped like a mask. The hair reminiscent of African muses. A very long, curved and pointed nose. And finally the blank, blurred eyes so characteristic of his paintings.
From 1915, he began developing this very unique style of having one eye seen with its pupil and the other blank, as though blind. And when he was questioned on this, he said one eye looks outwards and the other inwards.
Despite this running theme, no painting is like another. Each work is unique in its own way, and despite the blinds being down on the windows to the soul, the model's characters are nonetheless strikingly tangible.
The Inner Eye exhibition is on until June in Villeneuve-d'Ascq in northern France. In the media, blurring images to protect both the audience and the subject has become a common practice, but it's something Swiss contemporary artist Thomas Hirschhorn believes to be random and deceiving. He explores this hiding of the truth as he sees it in his new exhibition in Paris. Our reporters went to meet him.
It's what he calls the growing phenomenon of facelessness, the increased use of pixels and blurring by the media to make reality more acceptable. As the title suggests, the exhibit Pixel Collage at the Galerie Chantal Crousel in Paris is a series of collages mixed with pixel images, a technique used by the Swiss artist Thomas Hirschhorn for the first time.
I'm trying to use these pixels as an instrument to link these two people that are supposed to be alive and these other two who are dead. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm pixelating pictures that usually aren't pixelated and using these pixels to bring these pictures together.
The Swiss artist boldly addresses the meaning and consequences of this practice widely used by the media of blurring pictures to hide the truth, a process he says is often random and deceiving.
When a picture is pixelated, it becomes pretty to look at, and at the same time we know that it's pixelated, so we don't really let ourselves look at it properly. I'm changing where I'm placing these pixels to bring a new perspective, a new light, a new understanding of reality, the reality I live in.
Thomas Hirschhorn has been using collages for decades. In his previous series, Collage Truth in 2012, he had already mixed diverted commercials to bodies torn by war. Thomas Hirschhorn says the starting point of his work is always defiance.
I see art as an act of resistance. As an artist, I have a superb instrument, which is the art itself. It allows me to face the reality of our world, the world we live in, that I am in.
Using pixels as a tool to connect the beauty and cruelty of reality, a tool to link the unspeakable with the abstract, the hidden with the known. That's Thomas Hirschhorn's intent with his exhibit, Pixel Collage.
Next, Nigerian illustrators are responding to the shortage of black comic book stars. Comic startups in Nigeria are creating characters to rival Iron Man, Batman and Spider-Man. The superheroes the company Comic Republic brings to life are born and bred in Africa, and they fight there too. Let's find out some more.
Adjei, Avonome and Guardian Prime. According to these Nigerian comics, you don't have to be white to save the world. Here in the studio of Comic Republic in Lagos, artists are creating a new breed of superheroes born and bred in Africa. The founder of this comic startup is Jaidi Martins, who wants to conquer a new generation of comic fans with Nigeria's myths and legends.
We have a cultural background of having witches, and people think witches from this part of the world are all dark and bad, but we're trying to show the world that even an African witch is good. Or using fear to conquer your fears is also part of the African tradition.
Launched just 3 years ago, Comic Republic has grown from a few hundred readers to nearly 28,000 fans. The comic books are free to download online, so funding comes from advertising and spin-off projects. But it's been a battle to break even.
Initially, when we started, it was very, very hard to break into that kind of market, to see let people take this particular thing seriously per se, because they didn't actually take it seriously. They just looked at it like, oh, these guys are just drawing, wasting their time.
Most of their fans are Nigerian, yet their African cast are also getting noticed abroad, sparking interest as far as Japan and the Philippines.
We want to take the African story to the international market. So we decided to, it's only logical that you put your product online, because all you have to do is sign up to a website or click on a browser and you're there.
Their next mission to take their superheroes to the big screen and rival their American adversaries on their own turf.
Now to a different sort of fashion brand that's flourishing here in Paris. It's based in the Château Rouge neighbourhood, the centre of the city's African expat community. The new label is using traditional African printed wax fabrics to make modern clothes. And though it's pretty much still a start-up, business is booming. France 24 met the founder.
Every morning, Youssouf Fofana tours the Château Rouge neighbourhood in the north of Paris in search of the finest African wax prints. Diversity of patterns and quality of fabric, for him, every detail is crucial.
What's surprising is that it's the traditional fabrics that are the most resistant, and they're the most popular too. Their unique patterns each have their own meaning.
And when Youssouf can't decide, Asafo is there to help. She knows the fabrics inside out, down to their sometimes unlikely names.
They have 2 or 3 different names each, depending on the country: Mali, Ghana, Senegal. I'm mostly familiar with the Ghanaian and Ivorian names. This one is called President Kennedy.
Yusuf launched his brand Maison Château Rouge in May 2015, and in under a year, business has flourished.
Our website launched late in the night. It was around 3 a.m., and the next day we had orders from Japan and the United States. It's truly an international customer base, but there are also a lot of Parisians, people who live in Château Rouge, and who wear our outfits with pride.
All of Yusuf's creations are currently sold out, but worry not. Maison Château Rouge's new collection is set to come out on February 27th.
Well, staying with fashion, we'll leave you with pictures from Milan Fashion Week. This is Prada's latest collection, which mixes military, nautical and 1940s looks. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.